Hey everybody. So today we're going to start our first lesson, and it's an important one. It's going to be on concept. You've heard me say this a lot of times, that we have to overcome concepts, and everything that we know in the personhood is a concept. So this is where I'm going to start today, and it's all important, but this is hugely important. Because it's not until we overcome all of these and can see all of these that we can truly be liberated. So let's begin. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. From ignorance lead me to truth. From darkness lead me to light. From death lead me to immortality. Om. Peace. 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 Okay, so this actually is one of the purest and primary ways that you can tell about yourself when you're gauging on where you are in your path, and when you're looking at other people and hearing how they speak, how one who knows can tell that one who's pretending is still asleep. They still buy into the concepts. I wasn't going to say anything because it just is not what I'm into anymore. But it is very important. It is why this teaching is happening right now. And it is the fake one who says she's up there with Jesus Christ put out a video this morning massively attacking me. I don't know if any of you've seen it. Massively attacking me. And if you look at this video that she put out early this morning, she is in extreme fear right now. She is in extreme fear, understanding that she has been lying to everybody. So what she's doing right now is the equivalent of starting a smear campaign on me, except she's doing it right out in the open. And she's telling everybody not to listen to me, that she has given the right information. And I am just some fool out here telling you that you're already there. She's telling you the right way to go. And I won't put that trash on my page. The name of it is Polarizing Energies, Light versus Dark. And as usual, she's calling me the darkness. And please remember, she's projecting. She is, in fact, what she's calling me. And we are going to go over all of this, in this teaching right now. Because in fact, light and dark are also concepts. They don't exist. This is how you can tell she's in ignorance. She is still in the sleep. And she is in fear mode. And where do you find fear mode? In the personhood. She is still in ignorance. So what she said is you can believe the darkness that tells you you're already there. Still not understanding. That was still another dig at Muji. Still not understanding that Muji is in fact a realized master who has been helping to wake you up with the exact teachings of RamanaMaharishi and Nisargadatta and Papaji. They're all teaching the same thing. But the ignorant ones are not able to see that because they don't understand what he's saying. And I will be explaining that to you on this page, where you will be able to see exactly what I'm saying is the truth. And remember, as I said, there is only one truth. There are many paths to get you there, but there is only one truth. And how can you tell a real, genuine, realized master is they're all speaking the same truth? The ignorant, fake ones out here will be telling you something different, which is what's happening with that one over there in fear, who is now really seriously, brutally attacking me. She's in so much fear. If this wasn't so egregious, and it's not the fact of what she's saying to me, because I could care less what she says. It's the fact that she's trying to keep seekers away from knowing the truth to be realized. This is the egregiousness of this, and this is why I'm speaking about this right now. She also talks about karma in this little video of hers. Understand that karma is also a concept, which she talks about all the time. She is still living in the concept. She is still living in Maya. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? I'm going to go right to the heart of what she's saying, that she's attacking Muji, in essence, by saying that I want to say, go ahead, you're already that. Well, you are already that. It's only ignorant ones like her, the one who's up there with Jesus, who don't understand that. Because she has to be the special one. Maybe she sleeps in a special way. Who knows? Who knows? But as for you, all of you seekers, you are already that. And now I'm going to read you what Nisargadatta himself says. Okay? It's unfortunate that I can't just speak to you and tell you the truth, because I know it. I live it. It's because of fakes and phonies out here like her that I must constantly refer back to the masters, so that you will understand that what I'm saying is exactly what they're saying, and therefore I am there. I am that. And what I'm saying is truth, and you can trust it. Okay? So I understand I have to earn it. Whatever. I will do what I have to do. The only thing that matters to me is that you understand that what I'm saying is the truth, so that you can liberate yourself. That's all that matters here. So this is from the book I Am That by Nisargadatta Maharaj. Page 107. You are free now. You're already that. That's what he's saying. You're already that. So the questioner says, at what point am I free to desire what I want to desire? Maharaj, you are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. Questioner, of course I am free to desire, but I am not free to act on my desire. Other urges will lead me astray. My desire is not strong enough. Even if it has my approval, other desires which I disapprove of are stronger. Maharaj, maybe you are deceiving yourself. Maybe you are giving expression to your real desires, and the ones you approve of are kept on the surface for the sake of respectability. You see, wearing the mask, like the fake one over there, wearing the mask. This is why she has to be up there with Jesus. Questioner, it may be as you say, but this is just another theory. The fact is, I do not feel free to desire what I think I should, and when I seem to desire rightly, I do not act accordingly. Maharaj, it is all due to weakness of the mind and disintegration of the brain. Collect and strengthen your mind, and you will find that your thoughts and feelings, words and actions will align themselves in the direction of your will. Again, a counsel of perfection. Questioner. Again, a counsel of perfection. To integrate and strengthen the mind is not an easy task. How does one begin? Maharaj. You can start only from where you are. You are here and now. You cannot get out of here and now. Questioner. But what can I do here and now? Maharaj. You can be aware of your being here and now. We say that again. You can be aware of your being here and now. Questioner. That is all? Maharaj. That is all. There is nothing more to it. In all my waking and dreaming. Questioner. In all my waking and dreaming, I am conscious of myself. It does not help me much. Maharaj, you are aware of thinking, feeling, doing. You are not aware of your being. So what he's saying, you are aware of thinking, feeling, and doing. You are aware of the body, mind, the personhood. That's what we're aware of. You're not aware of your being. You're not aware of the self. But you are already that. Questioner, what is the new factor you want me to bring in? Maharaj, the attitude of pure witnessing, of watching the events without taking part in them. Questioner, what will it do to me? Maharaj, weak-mindedness is due to lack of intelligence, of understanding, which again is the result of non-awareness. Let me say that again. Weak-mindedness. To attack another individual and tell everyone out here that what I'm saying is like delusional junk. To keep you all away from discovering the self is weak-mindedness. It is delusional. It is ignorance. It lacks awareness. It is in Maya. How many different ways can I say it? It is the result of non-awareness. By striving for awareness, you bring your mind together and strengthen it. Questioner, I may be fully aware of what is going on and yet quite unable to influence it in any way. Maharaj, you are mistaken. What is going on is a projection of your mind. A weak mind cannot control its own projections, like Miss Light and Dark over there. A weak mind cannot control its own projections. Be aware, therefore, of your mind and its projections. You cannot control what you do not know. On the other hand, knowledge gives you power. In practice, it is very simple to control yourself, know yourself. How do we first know ourselves? Well, like Ramana Maharishi said, we must do the inquiry. And what is the inquiry all about? It's about knowing what the personhood is. You see, because the personhood is the illusion, because you are only the self. We're looking for something that's already here. We are only the self. The personhood is an illusion. Except for deluded people who are up there with Jesus Christ. Personhood is very real. And that mind spin hamster wheel is going 1,000 miles an hour. And that is what creates fear mode. Being exposed creates fear mode. It creates massive projection. It creates attacks on people for no reason. It creates selfishness to try to keep seekers away from learning the truth. See, it's all about her. And it has always been all about her. And this is what I've been telling you guys this whole time. It has always been all about her. That's why you guys would never ever be realized in 1,000 lifetimes, because it's all about her. Misdelusion. Questioner, maybe I can come to control myself, but shall I be able to deal with the chaos in the world? Maharaj, there is no chaos in the world except the chaos which your mind creates. It is self-created in the sense that at its very center is the false idea of oneself as a thing different and separate from other things, as I've been telling you guys all along. If you're really, truly realized and not just a Bible thumper, you would not be able to attack another human being, because there is only you. You are not separate from anybody, you see. And it's right here in the words from Nisargadatta Maharaj. And what is she going to do? Call him stupid too? Call him crazy too? In reality, you are not a thing, nor are you separate. You are not a thing. You are not this form. You are not this mind. And nor are you separate from anyone else. You are the infinite potentiality, the inexhaustible possibility. Because you are, all can be. The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. And what does he actually mean by that? The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. We have to go back to the beginning, where I've explained that we are the absolute awareness. So we have the absolute awareness here, which is the source. When the source enters the form, it becomes consciousness, which is who we are in this form. We are consciousness. Only the forms are different. We're not different from each other. We are, in fact, only one. It's not even to say there's billions of us just like us. No, there is only one. That, in fact, comes back to the bodies on the clothesline, the picture that I got, where the source just swoops in on 10 bodies at once, and they all come alive. See, there's only one source. The source will just swoop in like a hand. Bits and pieces of the source will swoop in the bodies, and the bodies will come to life. Well, that is exactly what's happened to everything on this planet. Okay? So it is only once we came into form that the universe even existed, because in the purest form, pure awareness does not even know itself. The only way, and it's a scriptural, and forgive me, I told you, because of my repulsion of Bible thumpers, I cannot retain scripture. So, but there is a scriptural verse that says, the source came into many so that he can worship himself. And that is the reason why, because in pure awareness, the source doesn't even know itself. So, in pure awareness, none of this exists. None of this exists. There is no universe. There's nothing. This is why Muji uses the term, the nothingness. While we're in form, we are the everythingness in the nothingness. We have all of this to experience. This is everything here is our Disney World. And it's only because we're informed that we can experience all of this. This is why we are the creator of our own universe. And the consciousness entering the form and the world existed simultaneously. And now I hope you understand that. Pure awareness does not even know itself. And none of this exists in the pure awareness. So it's only when pure awareness comes into form, it becomes consciousness. And when consciousness enters the form, the world exists at that point as well. because we are aware of what's around us now once we come into form. Once we leave form, we go back into pure awareness. All of this, the universe no longer exists any longer. We have to be informed in order for us to realize that the source exists, that to realize that all of this exists. If we're not informed and we're in pure awareness, none of this exists. Okay? Because you are, all can be. Because you entered the form, all can be. In a nutshell. Questioner, I find that I am totally motivated by desire for pleasure and fear of pain. However noble my desire and justified my fear, pleasure and pain are the two poles between which my life oscillates. Maharaj, go to the source of both pain and pleasure, of desire and fear. Observe, investigate, try to understand. What is the source of pleasure and pain? What is the source of it? If you get to the source of it, you will overcome it. And the source of it is the personhood. It is the body-mind, the psychological mind. That is the source of pleasure and pain. And you must understand it, you must be able to see it, and you must transcend it. And this is where the fake one who's up there with Jesus still resides. This is how she can still attack everybody, and this is how she did what she just did. And how she is trying to prevent seekers from knowing the truth. This is the most egregious thing to me, is that she's trying to prevent seekers from knowing the truth. So Maharaj says, go to the source of both pain and pleasure, of desire and fear. Observe, investigate, try to understand. Questioner, desire and fear are both feelings caused by physical or mental factors. They are there easily observable, but why are they there? Why do I desire pleasure and fear pain? Maharaj, pleasure and pain are states of mind. As long as you think you are the mind, or rather the body-mind, which is what I just said, you are bound to raise such questions. Questioner, and when I realize that I am not the body, shall I be free from desire and fear? Maharaj, as long as there is a body and a mind to protect the body, attractions and repulsions will operate. They will be there, out in the field of events, but will not concern you. Hear that. They will still be there. You will still have emotions. As long as you are in this form, you will still have emotions, but they will no longer control your life. You will control them. You will still get pains in this body. You will still feel pleasure in this body, but it will no longer control you. You will control them. So whenever you see people attacking another person or claiming to be better than anybody else, you have to understand first and foremost, they are seeing themselves as separate than the other person, which means they cannot be liberated. They are still in ignorance. They are still in Maya. To still be attacking Muji Baba after everything that's been exposed about this woman, you can understand the sickness going on here. Pure mental illness. She is definitely in the personhood. And if you are a genuine seeker and you truly want to be liberated, I'm telling you outright right now, you need to get away from that woman. She's very deluded, very mentally ill, and she's still in the personhood. She's not even near being liberated. She's not even close. She's not even close. So questioner says, still they will be there. Will I never be completely free? Maharaj says, you are completely free even now. You are completely free even now. What you call destiny, karma, is but the result of your own will to live. How strong this will is, you can judge by the universal horror of death. Questioner, people die willingly quite often. Maharaj, only when the alternative is worse than death. But such readiness to die flows from the same source as the will to live, a source deeper even than life itself. To be a living being is not the ultimate state. There is something beyond, much more wonderful, which is neither being nor non-being, neither living nor non-living. It is a state of pure awareness, beyond the limitations of space and time. Once the illusion that the body-mind is oneself is abandoned, death loses its terror. It becomes a part of living. That was everything that I've been saying, now supported in Maharaj's book, I Am That. Let's get to the concepts. Especially from the one who's up there with Jesus Christ. She throws around people being from the light and the dark. And of course, she's always in the light and everyone else is from the dark. Understand, these are concepts that were created and propagated by the Christian faith, Christian religion. There is no such thing. Religion is another concept. You've heard me say this many times. Religion is another concept that was created in Maya to control the people, to keep the people in ignorance. And anyone who's on a true spiritual path must transcend religion. And once you transcend religion, and that does not mean you reject your religion, it means you transcend the concepts of your religion. So for instance, if you are a Christian and you go to church 7 days a week and you're kneeling down at the altar and you say 1,000 Hail Marys, 1,700 Our Fathers, are you going to get to realization any sooner than someone else who doesn't go to church at all, but is actually doing the work to understand what the personhood is, who's actually doing self-inquiry? And the answer is, no, you're absolutely not. You're probably never going to get to realization by kneeling down in the church in front of the altar saying thousands and thousands of Hail Marys and Our Fathers. Because you're still believing that the source is separate from you. This is what religion propagates, that the source is separate from you. Even Hinduism, although Hinduism is the closest to the existential reality, it still on some level propagates that the source is separate from you. This is why you are to pray to deities. And it is this way in every religion out here. The source is separate from you. And don't think that that was a mistake. There is a world of good and evil in the spiritual realm. There most definitely is. And if you fully understand that you are not this form, you understand that you are a spiritual being, you are a cosmic being. You've heard me say many, many times, we are not the only beings residing in these forms at any given time. The beings that preside over the earth realm are of the lower realms. And they are here to keep you in ignorance. And this is what is identified as Maya. Religion falls into this realm, in the lower realms, to keep you in ignorance. So therefore, you must transcend religion if you want to be liberated. You must transcend it. It doesn't mean that you can't, like when I started the teaching today, I said the prayer. Doesn't mean you have to stop all these things. You should not stop all these things. Because understand, although we are the source in consciousness, we have to understand that every single thing that we're looking at and every single thing that we can't even see is the source all around us. You see, we have matter, we have dark matter. Emotions would be considered dark matter. We can't see them, but they are here, and they affect us in one way or another. They would be considered dark matter. There's not anything that is not the source. In order to never ever allow the lower forces of this earth realm take us over, we must always, always be humble and look to the source. We cannot ever, it is pure ego for us to walk around and say that we are up there with Jesus Christ. It is pure ego to say that I'm the source, so I don't have to pray to anybody. So this is why religion is important, because it gives us the scripture, number one. The scripture is like, I see the scripture as a tool, number one. You've heard me say that. It's like stepping stones. The more you read scripture, the more you start to understand. You start climbing. And then all of a sudden, you will get to a place where scripture has come alive, and you're living it, and you're seeing it all around you. And you will fully understand what is meant by transcend religion, and you will see everybody in that religion, and they are purely in the sleep, and you will see it plain as day, and you won't be able to speak to anybody about it because nobody else is awake and nobody else can see it, and here you are. And you will have people like the one who's up there with Jesus attacking you because they are still in the sleep and saying that you're some fake and a phony who's crazy, especially by the name that I put on my page. Well, understand one thing. The name that you choose, the name that you have, is also a part of the personhood. It means absolutely nothing. It's another concept because you are not this form. You are not this body mind. So you are not this name either. You are not this gender. You are not your nationality. You are not your religion. You aren't any of these things. As you just heard Maharaj say, you are not a form. You are the absolute awareness. So for anyone to look at a name on someone's page and make a derogatory comment, they are still in ignorance, and they are still seeing themselves as separate, and they are still they're still in the lower realms. That's all I could say. That's all I can say. When you get in the existential reality, you'll plainly be able to see the sleep in every. I mean, it stands out. It's like a flashing red light, and that is really what I can say to you. It's like a flashing red light. You have so much compassion and love in your heart that you don't have an enemy in the world. And it's not that other people will not dislike you or say bad things about you, as we're seeing with the one who thinks she's up there with Jesus. But for me, myself, I personally do not look at anybody out there as my enemy. For me personally, I have no enemies. I have no enemies. Everyone is me. So, who am I fighting? This is the place that you all have to come to. So what exactly are concepts? I have another book here, How Not to Get Lost in Concepts, by Ramana Maharishi, Annamalai Swami, Nisargadatta, Muruganar, Sadhu Om, Vasistha, and Sankara. So let's see what they say about this. Let's see, just the introduction. A mistake made by almost everyone who studies the direct path teachings is that instead of using the teachings as practice instructions, they become lost in spiritual concepts. Most of those people never correct that mistake, and at the end of their physical life, they are still lost in a maze of concepts without having realized the self, such as the one who believes she's up there with Jesus. Most people project their own thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and opinions onto what they are reading, and therefore the teaching is never received by them. A mixture of their own ideas and the teaching is no longer the teaching. Whenever you read a spiritual teaching, watch to see if you are adding your own ideas. Then ask yourself, these are my ideas. Without my ideas, what does this teaching actually say? Every time you read a spiritual quote, not only in this book, but in any book, ask yourself these questions. A, what is the purpose of this quote? And B, what would I have to do to put this purpose into practice? Write down or record your answers to those questions and read those answers or listen to those answers and actually put the teachings into practice. Know that a journey that never goes beyond thought is not a journey to self-realization. But understand, you must do the readings and you must understand it, and then you must become it. You must understand it first, and then you must become it. Okay? Know the difference between A, the final direct experience of infinite consciousness, where all suffering, the body, the universe, etc., disappear forever, and only eternal infinite awareness, love, bliss remains. Remember what I said. The universe is only here because consciousness has entered this form. When consciousness leaves this form, we become pure awareness and all of this disappears. B, thinking about infinite consciousness or any other spiritual topic. Thinking is not realization. Thinking is not realization. This is why continuous self-inquiry is needed on the path. Continuous introspection is needed on the path. Healing of the trauma is needed on the path. It's all needed. Know the difference between A, using the teachings as practice instructions, and B, getting lost or stuck in concepts, like the one who thinks she's up there with Jesus does. How not to get lost in concepts is book 6 in a series of 6 books called the Self-Realization Series, and I will record these books for everybody and have them on my page. So let's see. This is what Ramana Maharishi says about concepts. Number 1, why do people call me learned? What is the mark of real learning? Learning that all garnered knowledge of things is empty ignorance. And also, what did Nisargadatta say? Knowledge is for the ignorant. Okay? And that true knowledge is the search for the knower, which means the self. 2, those who, learning to forget completely all objective knowledge, turn inward firmly and see clearly the truth, abide serene. Those who try to recall forgotten things pine bewildered, fretting over false phenomena. Like channeling movie stars or saying, wait, it's coming, I'm getting something. False phenomena. When knowledge marred by doubt and error disappears in true awareness, clear and pure, one thus established firmly in self-being, free from falsehood, has crossed over to the further shore of the river of knowledge. Even the knowledge sense perceived of the world without has for its ground the self above. To search for knowledge somewhere else apart from that is but to grasp the shadow, not the substance. Whatever notion may arise, never let it live or grow, but to turn it that very instant, firm and stern, back to its source. And merge it there. This is robust, intense detachment. Many are the ills that flow from mixing with mad folks, like ones who believe they're up there with Jesus. Afflicted with turbid minds, fear-based, and rattling tongues, attacking realized masters. Best friendship is with those good men whose minds are dead, who abide in the pure silence of awareness, like realized masters. Those who do not dive into the heart and there confront the self in the 5 sheets hid are only students answering out of books, clever questions raised by books, and not true seekers for the self. So this is what you will understand. As I said the other day, a Bible thumper can recite scriptural text, can talk about anything they've read, but have they internalized it? Are they doing the work? And you can tell by the one who thinks she's up there with Jesus that she has not done the work. She is still out here to this very day attacking people. She does not understand what concepts are. She does not understand what the self is. And she is, in fact, trying to keep seekers away from realizing the self. And that is the only reason why I'm even referring to her in this video. The knowledge that ignores the self, the knower, and holds as true the field perceived is but elusive folly. Like believing you're up there with Jesus Christ. It's elusive folly. It is mental. It is delusional. No matter how much one has learned, true knowledge is the merging of all indicative knowledge in awareness of the self. This one goes on. Ramana has 40 of them. Let's see. Sri Annamalai Swami. All the information the mind accumulates and all experience it collects are ignorance, false knowledge. Why Nisargadatta said Bible thumpers are not good for themselves or not good for anybody. Because they're the truth, they haven't understood the truth. They haven't become the truth. They're just they're vomiting it back out. They don't even fully understand it because they haven't become it. And here's the other thing. A person who has become it doesn't need a book to explain it to you. As you will see with the one who thinks she's up there with Jesus, she's constantly having to read from a book. Constantly. I would truly love to sit here and just speak to you guys. But unfortunately, because she's trying to make everybody believe that I'm just some crazy person out here who doesn't know what I'm talking about. For this video right here, I am supporting everything I'm saying with the masters, with Ramana, with Nisargadatta. And please understand me that Muji is speaking the exact same thing. That is how you can tell who a realized master is. And when you have fake ones out here attacking realized masters, you have to understand they're not realized of anything except their own ignorance. You all, I'm not going to let this woman dictate my teaching channel now. But to me, this was a teaching that had to be done because she's purposely trying to keep everybody away from this page so that you won't be realized. And there's nothing more egregious than that. There's nothing more egregious than that. So let's take a look at the concepts. Now that you understand, I have read enough to you by the masters that corroborate everything that I have ever said. And if you have not been able to see that yet, I wish you well. I wish you well. This page is for the people who understand where I'm at and who really want to discover the self. That's who this page is for. So let's go over what the concepts genuinely are. When the source starts out as pure awareness, when it enters the form, it becomes consciousness. At around the age of 2 years old, consciousness knows that it exists. The I am is prevalent at that point. What exactly is the I am? Well, you hear people in the personhood say, or you see the memes on Facebook say they are the two most powerful words in all of the language, I am, because whatever you put behind it becomes what you are. In fact, that is the truth, because the I am is the personhood in delusion. That is what the I am is. So you could put, I am love, I am peace, I am whatever. You can also put, I am consciousness. You can also put, I am the pure awareness. But in fact, you are just stating, I am consciousness, I am the pure awareness from the personhood, correct? So that statement is correct. It is the two most powerful words that ever were spoken, because whatever you put behind it, you become. And it's all in the personhood, because you can't become anything. That is only in the personhood. That is only in delusion. When you believe you are the body-mind, you can't become anything, because you are already that, and you are pure awareness. So, anything you believe, what we are taught by our parents from a small child, whether we're a female, if we're female, what should we act like? What should we dress like? What's our role in our family of origin? What's our role in society? What's our role being a mother if we're female, being a father if we're male? Males, how do you dress? How do you treat women? Females, how do you treat your man? It's all taught to us in the personhood by our parents, who are also sleeping. And this is key. They're also sleeping. So they're not trying to teach us anything bad. They're not trying to hurt us, but they are also sleeping. They believe that they are the body-mind. So they're passing that on to us. Propagate the delusion. These are all concepts. So your societal norms, it's all concepts. Your religions. Now, religion is probably one of the most important things in every single one of our lives. It's probably the most important thing in every society, because it helps to control the people. And if you really understand this and can really see it, you will fully understand that there absolutely is no separation between church and state. They are working simultaneously with each other to control the people, to keep people in delusion. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is reality. They are working with the government to control the people. This is why religion must be transcended. Now, whatever gods you have grown to love or grown to know through your religion, it doesn't mean you have to get rid of them, throw them away. As you all see, I still refer to Jesus Christ. I still refer to some sayings that I learned. May the blood of Jesus Christ protect me. There's something that has happened. There's been a transformation that has happened. And what I truly understand at this point is, when I say those things, it's not that I see that Jesus Christ is actually doing anything, because in fact, Jesus Christ has returned to the pure awareness. There are interdimensional beings which we on earth can consider angels. They're not the angels of religion. You have to understand that. Everything in religion has been put here to control us. You have to understand that there are interdimensional beings that are here to help us. And when you call on them, they will come. And that's really what I can tell you. And it is factual. So I'm going to leave that there, because here's what I want to say about as far as demons and what happens when we die and we're in the lower realms, like for hell and all that. Hell is another concept that was propagated by Christians. Hinduism has their own version of hell. So do other religions. They're all concepts used to control the people. If you don't behave well, you're going to hell. Keep you in line, okay? It's another concept. Your heaven or hell is in your mind at any given time. You are the creator of your own universe. Understand, because you are not this body mind. So whatever you're creating, you're experiencing. You are the consciousness. So all of these concepts, and they are all concepts. Heaven is a concept. And language is a concept. Why is language a concept? Because we all learned it. Once consciousness entered the form, we all learned language when the psychological mind began to develop. It's all a concept. We were all taught language. Different words have different meanings, or same words have different meanings to different people. It is all in your interpretation, and it is all a concept. It is all a concept, because who we really are can never be explained through words. Never. This is the magnitude, the vastness of what concepts are. And literally everything we have ever learned in the personhood is a concept that we must be able to identify, and we must be able to transcend in order to be truly liberated. And in fact, to understand, the only way that we need to be liberated is to identify the personhood and understand that it is not real. It has never been real. It is an illusion, because the only thing that's ever been here, the only thing that has ever been truly real, has been the self. And this has been told to you over and over again by Ramana Maharishi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Papa G, and Muji, and now me. And the fakes out here who believe they're up there with Jesus Christ, they don't believe that you're already the self. So we have all of these realized masters out here telling you that you are already the self, and you have one outlier over here telling you that you're not really the self. Well, who do you think is actually correct? It's probably those of us out here who are not saying we're up there with Jesus Christ, because, by the way, that is a statement made in pure ego. And once you actually can see the personhood and you have absorbed it, and what do I mean by absorbed it? It just means that delusion has been seen. And I've said over and over again, you cannot unsee what has been seen. So when you see something about yourself and you say, this is personhood, you can't, it'll never happen again, and you can't see its personhood. Which means, that's what I keep saying, it's a delusion's been peeled away, or it's been absorbed into the self. Because what happens after all of these things have been brought to your attention, when we say a veil is lifted, actually, no veil is lifting, please. The self is watching all of these things happen. The self is watching all of these things. Every time I said a veil has lifted, I was still in another delusion saying a veil had lifted, because the self was watching me say another veil has lifted, because there was still some personhood here that I still had to break through. And the self was watching this whole thing. Do you understand? We are only the self. It is our own illusion and delusion to believe that we are the body-mind. And it's only the people out here who are still instigating and fighting and smear campaigning and belittling and saying horrible things about realized masters. They're in massive fear of being exposed for who they are and how little they actually know. And this is why they have to attack the way they're attacking. And after this video today, what that fake one who believes she's up there with Jesus says is irrelevant and redundant, because this was the foundation of what my future teachings will be, that you understand that everything I have ever said is factual from the masters. And I have literally internalized it and become it, because I can teach it to you without having to read any books, because I am that. And that's really all I would like to say about this at this point. So I will no longer feel that I must support what I'm saying by the masters. If I choose to read up a little bit more on what the masters say, then I will do so. But I will no longer feel that it's necessary for me to let you know that, yeah, Nisargadatta agrees with me. Look, Brahmana agrees with me. I will no longer feel like I must do that. This was only to get you comfortable with understanding that I am absolutely that. And this is not Bible thumping, because I don't need to read any books, because I live it on a daily basis. I have literally done the work. So I'm going to leave this here. We're going on an hour. And I will start recording these books again so that you will have them. And do exactly as they're instructing, because you have to understand, if the mind is kicking in and interpreting what you're reading, you're interpreting from personhood, which means you're not getting the full message. And this is what self-inquiry is all about, that we have to understand what the personhood is, not that we're looking for any self, because the self is really all that's here. And you are already that. So I'm going to leave this here for right now. And I'm going to try to say another prayer to end it. I've never said this one, but I'm going to try to get it and get it right. Okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And so what does this prayer mean? Om. That is full. This also is full. From fullness comes that fullness. Taking fullness from fullness, fullness indeed remains. Om. Peace, peace, peace. When you have the whole, you take something from the whole, there's only the whole remains, because there's nothing that is outside of the source. And I just got God bumped all over me with that one. Okay? You guys be blessed. I hope you get a lot out of this. And I will commence to recording these books for you guys. For those who are serious on the path, I bless that you will be able to quickly identify the personhood and understand who you really are. God bless.